Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off quickly talking about PSP emulation on iOS with PPSSPP. So here's the note right from the developers. They say the successful release of the Delta multi-system emulator seems to confirm that proper emulators can now pass App Store review. In the near future, an attempt will be made to submit PPSSPP to the App Store. So it's worth pointing out that this does not guarantee that PPSSPP is going to be on the App Store, but the developer is at least going to try. Unfortunately, I don't have a time frame for you. Moving on, and we're talking about Wii U emulation on Windows, Mac, and Linux with Cemu, and Cemu just got a brand new update. At the time of filming, Cemu version 2.0-82 experimental is the latest update. Now this is an experimental release, so some stuff might be broken, some stuff might not work as anticipated. But at the same time here, it's got a number of fixes and improvements and brand new features. And here's one of the very interesting new features. They've added support for WUHB file format. WUHB stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Wii U Homebrew, depending on how you want to interpret that. Arguably, this could be great news for Wii U Homebrew developers. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about RetroBat, and RetroBat has just released version 6.2. I would argue this update is pretty big. I mean, there's a whole bunch of fixes, improvements, new features, and brand new emulators. They've added in Sudachi and Tsuyu for Nintendo Switch, Lime 3DS for the 3DS, Mezen here for Master System, PC Engine, and Super Graphics. There's updates to Big Pemu, Cemu, Flycast, RPCS3, Ares, and even more. RetroBat is 100% free. It's available for Windows, and it's designed to pre-configure emulation station and even some emulators to make things easier for people. Next up, we're talking about Helldivers 2, and this news was very unexpected. So we've talked about this game the last couple of days when Sony decided to make it mandatory to have a PSN account in order to play. And this left people who purchased the game in areas that don't have PSN access completely stranded. Obviously, that decision was super unpopular and quite the controversy. People were very vocal with not being pleased about Sony's decision, and surprisingly here, Sony actually listened. So here is PlayStation's actual response. Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. The May 6 update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. Now, just yesterday on Steam, this game was very poorly reviewed, and right now it's sitting at a recent mixed reviews with a mostly positive overall. This is a massive turnaround for the reviews on this game. Unfortunately, I still don't know if Steam plans on delisting this game from places that don't have PSN. That's about 170 plus countries. So I'm very curious to see what happens there. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Are you surprised that Sony changed their tune on it? And what's your thought about this whole situation? Next up, we're talking about Steam, Linux, and gaming. And there's a brand new version of Proton Experimental that just dropped. This one has something very interesting in it. And it says added support for OpenXR 1.1.36. Could this possibly mean that Valve is still working on the Deckard? Maybe, maybe not. Next up, this is a quick one. Earthlight now has an English translation. So they say here, Earthlight, Hudson's spiritual sequel to Nectaris and Military Madness, is now fully playable in full English translation. This is a turn-based strategy game for the SNES, and if you are curious about it, I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and feel free to check it out. Moving on, and we're quickly talking about the PS5 Pro, and more details have surfaced about their new GPU. Apparently, it's going to be a little bit better than we initially thought. There are some very lofty statements out there. I mean, it's being reported that real-world gaming performance is expected to see a roughly 45% boost over the PS5. I'm not going to lie here, I'm curious as to whether or not this actually holds up in the real world, and I'm curious to see the price of this thing compared with the normal PS5. Moving on, and I've got another quick one for you. We're talking about MAME on Android with MAME for Droid 2024, and it's just been updated to version 1.12.1. They say here it's got a new touch UI and artwork implementation. Now, taking a quick peek over at Google Play, and this update hasn't made its way over there yet. I'm assuming it'll probably hit in a couple of days. In the meantime, though, if you wanted to head to GitHub, it's 100% free and open source. And last up here, if you've got a really old mobile device and for some reason you wanted to put Discord on it, you might be able to. We've talked about this one in the past, but it's Discord for J2ME, and this one actually just got a brand new release. So version 1.2.0 just dropped, and they say this update introduces a new message viewing UI featuring these improvements. Newest messages now shown at the bottom. Message timestamps, the ability to read further back into the message history, and a light and dark theme option. This is 100% free, it's open source, and if you wanted to learn more about it, I'll drop a link in the description below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and one fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.